This is a seriously wacky little plane by anybody's standards. It's the Dromeda Twin Explorer. It's got two little motors there, little brushed motors on the wings. I picked it up at the Kitchener-Waterloo, Flight Fest thing last fall. They were selling them in the sort of the trade tent there for $60 new. I think it was $60, something like that anyway. And I don't know whether you're supposed to put the transmitter on or the plane on first with these things. This is the battery that came with it. It is a very weird plane. Because it has no control surfaces whatsoever. None at all. None. Zero. The idea, I suppose, is that you're supposed to be able to turn it left and right by differential thrust on the two little motors, and I suppose make it go up by giving it more power and down by less power. I say idea because frankly I found it utterly impossible to fly like that. Just did not work. It just kept going up and stalling all the time unless you didn't give it any power, in which case it just basically went down into the ground. It did not in any sense, from my point of view, fly like that. It comes with this little transmitter. You can't use it with anything else. So what I've done is put some cardboard impromptu sort of trim tabs on the tail in the vague hope that these will make it fly better. It's you can only operate that does differential thrust on the motors to make it go side and side, and you've got throttle, so you've only got the two things. It's an absolute devil to do anything. We'll see if I can make it fly, but I don't know whether I'm going to be able to. No. Did I turn it on? There we go. Got to arm the air C, oddly enough. Well, God. See what I mean? This is what I mean. No, it just does that. It just goes blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I don't know. Whoops. I don't know. Well, you want to give it an up. I guess I've given it too much down elevator now. You want to give it up elevator, but you can't because it doesn't have any. I don't know. Nope. But the first time I was flying it, it just seemed to go up all the time. Now it just seems to go down all the time. I don't know what you're supposed to do with the thing. Nope. The first time I was flying it, it was doing what it was originally doing, just tending to go up and stall, porpoise and stall constantly. And now it just seems to be going down all the time, and I can't keep it up. Weird. See, now we've reached some sort of compromise. It is a bizarre, bizarre plane. I've reached some sort of compromise whereby I've actually got the thing to fly now. Famous last words. Of course, I have no elevators, so the only way to bring it down is to try and give it less power, and it doesn't want to come. The whole idea of having a plane with no elevators seems to me absurd, and it's just wacky. See, I'm actually stopping the motor because that's the only way of getting it to come down. But then, of course, if you stop the motors, you have no directional ability either, because the only directional ability comes from the motors. It is a deeply wacky plane, and flying it is more like playing some kind of bizarre video game, frankly, than flying an aeroplane. It's a sort of weird compromise between giving it power and you know, trying to turn it so it doesn't go to kingdom come. Now, see, now it's, I think what's happened now is my cardboard things have sort of bent, have straightened out, so now it's doing the porpoising thing again, because it was only not porpoising before because of my cardboard trim tabs, but they've straightened out a bit now, I think, so now I'm having trouble stopping it from porpoising. It's a whack-doodle plane, if you can, well, I suppose it's a plane, within the meaning of the act approximately. It's a fixed-wing thing that flies with motors, but it's deeply whack-doodle. See, this is what it tended to do out of the box, is this thing where it pitches up and down constantly. And that's what those cardboard things on the tail are supposed to stop it doing. No, I do not want to go into the long grass to get it back. I'll let it go down, I guess. I don't know. Let me try one more time. Although that I think demonstrated. Yes, see, these are getting damp and whatever now, and bendy. You got to give it a bit of a throw, because it's got to build up some speed to, and you're not, you see, I mean, although it looks as if it's rolling, I mean, it's not, it's got no, again, you've got no roll control either. All you're doing is giving it differential thrust to those two little motors. I don't know. The idea that this was a way to make a plane that would work seems strange to me. I don't know why anyone ever thought it would. Well, I mean, suppose it does sort of, but what do they call it? It's a Dromeda Twin Explorer. I've not talked to anyone else who has one, so I don't know. I asked the hobby store if they'd sold any, and they said no, they couldn't remember selling any particularly, or at least not anybody telling them anything about it, so I don't know what experience other people have had with it. I did find definitely that taping the two pieces of cardboard to the back helped. I never got it to fly this well without the two pieces of cardboard. I mean, it's sort of flying not too badly for bits now, isn't it? Kind of. Of course, you can't do any kind of maneuver with it at all. I mean, you know, because it's not even a 3-channel plane, it's a 2-channel plane. Just the throttle and, what, differential thrust. So you can't, there's no way you could sort of loop it, at least I don't think so. Oh, come back. Let's try and bring it back here and then let it land. Then of course, then it decides to glide properly and go a long way away. I mean, you don't know. Sometimes it glides properly, sometimes it just dives. I mean, you can actually, one thing about it is you can actually steer it with this differential thrust, I must say. Of course, you can't steer it when there's no power on, so you're having to put some power on to steer it, but you can steer it with a differential thrust at least, which is nice. So you can sort of stop it going into the long grass or whatever. Anyway, I think that's enough of that. There you go. One of the weirdest versions of an RC plane I have run across. The Dromeda Twin Explorer. I'm not sure what you're supposed to explore with it, but anyway. There you go. Yeah, I mean, you get a reasonable battery. I mean, it's got a fairly big battery for such a little thing. It does have 2 motors, but it's even got a switch on it. Such sophistication. It's, what is that battery? It's a 300 milliamp hour single cell. So, there you go, the Dromeda Twin Explorer.